welcome to Zarnok Gaming. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Thutmose Quest. I will personally achieve 7,100 medals, or 7,100 points on every medal on this quest. I have some additional feedback and some strategies I'll talk about ways that I think that you can perfect this. Some videos I've seen of certain levels getting max points that I did not get max points on. People getting max points with weaker units than mine on certain levels that I don't have recorded here. I am hopeful that before the end of the event, I might be able to get some RNG into getting maximum points myself. However, as we know, maximum points is it's 4 more Thutmose shards and 1 Xenos badge, which I could use a Xenos badge. I'm not gonna lie. So. Let's jump right in with Common Encounter level 1, where we are not going to be taking any damage. And pull that out of here. And as you can see, we got Thutmose and some Cadian Guardsmen lined up. And a lot of this is going to be a showcase for Makotep and Aleph Newell, as I'm sure you guys are well aware. Obviously, you'll see I do have Anafet. I did my best to not use Anafet in any of these levels. That way, you guys would, the normal person would be able to go ahead and maximize these as well. So you'll see here that before we want to go ahead and use Makotep, we want to get our kills off. That way, we guarantee spreading the scarabs uphill. That way the AI attacks the scarabs instead of our units, and we don't take any damage. And this is going to be a common theme as we go out and play this quest, is that we're going to want to maximize our points by making sure we're attacking scarabs and not our units. So here we go, common encounter number 2. And it's going to be don't take damage again. A little less intuitive because we have a laser cannon here. In case you don't know, Makotep actually has a 2-hit ranged attack. So if the HP is low enough, he can guaranteed kill them. And that's what we have going on here. And then all we have to do is stay out of range. Laser cannons, as deadly and dangerous as they are, only have 1 hit, so not anything terrible against scarabs. And after that, it's pretty easy. You move up, your scarabs do most of the work for you, and all you're worried about here is making sure that you get your lightning victory. So I'll back that up just a little bit. That was a slight misplay there. What I actually should have done, is I should have attacked the lower unit. That way Aleph Newell could move up and attack the upper unit. However, I attacked the upper unit, and then no one would be able to connect with that lower unit, and I will have missed the lightning victory. So don't do that. But I get lucky on the flee with the overkill and the 40% chance of fleeing on overkill. And that is the number, in case you guys aren't familiar, if you haven't read the card. If you kill a unit, adjacent units have a 10% chance of fleeing if they have the battle fatigue trait. If those units are overkilled, it's increased to 40%. So this matters when you maybe are trying to RNG your way through some of these encounters in the next couple of days. Looking at some Xenos badges here as we keep on playing through. Common encounter number 3, no summons. No summons doesn't necessarily mean no Aleph Newell, because Aleph Newell is a beast, high hit count, good damage, the ability to heal. But I get in my mind that with these 2 groups of 2 that this might be the better setup, and I am absolutely incorrect. But you'll see that we make some quick work of these units here as well. And we go and we take, no more than 1 hit from any one of these laser cannons. And the problem becomes that there's 1 turn left here. see if I figure out how to kill this guy. You're gonna have one turn left here, and I need my units to just heal. They're 10% and heal, but they don't heal enough. They don't heal to full health, and so I actually lose the lightning victory. And so just very quickly, because I recorded this all in one take, we go and we look, and I didn't have to make a lot of cuts, so I didn't video edit it out. And you'll see that we go and bring Alf Newell this time. Everyone focuses on Makotep, and it's just a significantly easier battle where we can go ahead and finish this unit, move Makotep to where he can attack the laser cannon, and you'll see that we can get our heal off. And we actually have to pass turn, and then you'll notice you can check all of your units' health at the top and make sure that they're white. If your unit's health is white, they're at full health. Anytime that you're missing health, your unit's health is going to show red. So don't trust the bar at the bottom of the screen. Make sure that you're making sure that the numbers are actually fully full. We get 2 chests in a row here, moving up to some uncommon badges and some uncommon orbs. And we look right in, and looking like no enigmatic damage. So here's another thing, in case you haven't been here for one of my walkthroughs before. You can see in the top left of the avatars down the hero selection screen who is eligible. So obviously Thutmose not only is eligible but required, but you'll see in the top left of Anafet, Makotep, and Alf Newell's images in the little character boxes that there's a little blue banner right here with a little star on top and a blue banner coming down on the right side. That means that they're eligible for this mission's requirements. The only hero we have that does enigmatic damage is Imospec, and so he's not eligible to come on this mission. This is another mission where we're now allowed to take damage, and so we're looking at the opening, and we want to make sure that Makotep is within range 3 of walking distance to right there, so that he can move to where the killed Boxcaster is, and we'll go ahead and move him up and send off the Scarabs, and we'll go and wrap one of these guys. And then it's pretty easy from there on out. You have Scarabs out. Even if your Scarabs weren't to replicate, it shouldn't be a big deal to pretty easily beat this level. You go and you look and you make sure you get your units to full health. As I think about where I'm going to be going. And we definitely want to make sure that we can heal if necessary. And we do have 2 turns left, so we move everyone there outside of range of the bomb dropping, the artillery shell from the Voxcaster, moving Makotep up where he can get healed, and we go ahead and we finish everything for a 100% score. Didn't bring myself anything to drink today. I'm messing up. And we get another chest. We've downgraded back to common badges, which I don't know why we get common badges after we've already moved on commons. So many common badges. But here's a pretty easy one. We got to use all ranged heroes. That means very simply, again, no Makotep or no Alf Newell. And so without being able to bring Alf Newell, we don't have a healer. And so that means we are going to have to make sure that we are able to heal through the 10% of living metal, the trait that the Necrons all have. And so we'll take a look here and take a laser cannon shot. Looks like with Thutmose, I would hope, but maybe we're going to take it. No, we're going to take it with Imospec, which is okay, I guess. And we'll go ahead and we'll finish that guy off. We're looking at the damage, and we're making sure that he's going to be able to kill the laser cannon no matter what. And Thutmose has a higher pierce by 5%, it looks like, than Makotep does. They both have 2 hits. So the damage stat being higher on Thutmose, it looks like he's the better choice there. So Thutmose goes and we kill with Makotep so that Thutmose can kill the laser cannon. Now all we have to worry about are these Cadian guardsmen. And we need to make sure we let our Immospec get back to full health. So we go ahead and use the active of Thutmose, which will target 1 plus 2 more. We're getting everyone to pretty low health here. We get a flee off. And we look and bam, we have white health numbers on every unit. Every unit is healed. All we have to do is get the kills there. And that's not too hard to do, as you can use moving Thutmose into melee range to do additional damage throughout this entire encounter. Which brings us to another chest, some more common badges, and the uncommon encounters. Looking at uncommon encounter number 1, which is another no summon level, my least favorite level, given that Aleph Newell is like my favorite hero, and Aleph Newell and Makotep are my favorite combo in the entire game. So, not being able to do that, but learning from the common encounter number 3 that had no summons, that it's probably a good idea to still bring Aleph Newell just because he is our healer. And so we look around with who we're going to use, no summons, and where we're going to get our bonus movement off. And we choose to take the hits from Aleph Newell and do some damage onto the laser cannon. And that does not work. Too much damage for Aleph Newell. Without any scarabs to soak. So you'll see very quickly that we'll rerun this and try again. This is also an example of what not to do. Always good to have some of those. And I think we go with the exact same lineup in the same start. Maybe we bring Emo? No. I always think about bringing Emo. Who wants to bring Emo? He's terrible. It's the worst unit in the game. But we go down here, southbound. We only take 1 hit from the laser cannon. We spread it out, taking the other laser cannon hit to Thutmose, and we use his active to take out some of these units. Now we are looking much, much better. Something you should know about laser cannons, if you're not aware, is that laser cannons will almost always... let's see here. Laser cannons will almost always stay still if possible. They have a trait called, it's not encampment, but something like encampment. They have a trait where they do 50% more damage if they haven't moved. They do 50% less damage if they have moved. So if they have to move to come get you, they do less damage. So they tend to favor standing still. This means that if you're losing a unit one way, try a different way while keeping them out of that range. Also, it means that if a laser cannon has to move to shoot you, it's going to do a lot less damage. So now we're going to go make sure we always get our heal before our kill, and we finish off there. Figuring that one out for the perfect score. And moving on to uncommon encounter number 2 after we get ourselves another chest that had some... gone now. But... getting some more orbs for those of us who need orbs, some more Thutmose shards, some more badges. Obviously, I love quests. They're one of the best modes simply because you're going to get so many things to move up your units, and they're not necessarily faction specific. So here you can see no Gauze damage, so no Makotep. It's hard for me to tell the damages apart from these units, but you can see again at the bottom of the screen that there's no banner right here next to Makotep's face. No blue banner with the emblem. That's how you know he's not eligible for the requirements. And again, I won't be using Anafet because I know most of you don't have him. So I will be in every one of these encounters trying to figure out a way to do it with units I think you guys have, probably around strength that I think you guys have. We go ahead and we move in, and this is going to be a failed run here simply because my scarabs are going to be too far away to get the lightning victory, if I'm not mistaken. So we start here with a strong up top. You're inclined to use these trenches, but then you just can't really get into range to finish up and get all the kills that you need here. So we're thinking about it. I'm looking at how much direct damage it's going to do versus the 143 health, and it's not enough, and it can't crit. So there's no chance that moving into that barbed wire is going to get me a kill there. And then I lose the scarabs, and my other scarabs aren't close enough, and suddenly I just can't get into range. I can't get the kills that I need to get. I can't reach this guy in the bottom right. So I try moving, but as we've seen, it's not enough, and we can't get the lightning victory. So very, very quickly learning from our mistakes, we will go back in and we will do the smart thing, the right thing, and purchase some more tokens so that we can put some scarabs near the bottom of the map instead of where we put them before. And that little bit, that couple tiles closer, making all the difference. And using Immo's Overwatch to take care of that guy so that we don't have to do it on the next turn. And Aleph Newell being closer makes the world of difference. And we don't attack. That was huge. We don't attack with Immospec here. Instead, moving Immospec down, not in range of the units. Instead of all the way down, we move him to here. This is the spot where every unit has to move into his range in order to try and attack. And so we get the Overwatch of Immospec, and he takes care of some of the units for us, and that allows us to get the finish that we needed with lightning victory. And we don't even use Immospec to attack at all this entire battle. Instead, we heal there. Oh, here comes Immospec with the enigmatic pulse pistols, and we wrap it up after getting to full health with Aleph Newell. Getting some more common badges, and moving on to uncommon encounter number 3. Uncommon encounter number 3 is another no damage from the looks of it. And this looks like an Overwatch dream after the way we just beat the last level, right? So you go, oh wow, if my Immospec was just bronze 1 and probably had a level 17 passive, then you could easily beat this level by doing nothing at all except for passing turn, and instead Immospec just gets absolutely annihilated. So again, things not to do. All of my Necrons have like level 8 abilities except for my Scarabs. My Immospec is very weak. I don't like him. He's a terrible hero. So we'll go ahead and we'll get rid of him. We'll bring Mach instead. We will try to figure out how we're going to get no damage done. And it looks a lot like getting some Scarabs off right away. Using our active, coming up with Mach, hitting somebody, and then just letting them attack Scarabs, because that's what they do. You wrap up, you have plenty of time to go and use Mach's active, and still 2 extra units there that we had if you didn't get the flea. Wrapping up for a perfect score there. And moving on to an uncommon encounter. Oh, no, we got a chest first. And we're moving into rare badges, yes! So we're getting rare badges, rare orbs, and some more Thutmose shards. As you see, I don't have Thutmose yet. He's one of the few heroes I've yet to have unlocked. And we will move in, and it looks like no energy damage. I'm assuming is Anafet not okay? Yep. So Anafet's energy damage. Again, I can't tell these damage types apart from the picture. They all just look green, but we're showing you here. Energy is right there. Enigmatic is on Immospec. Gauze is on Makotep, and Particle is what we're working with on Aleph Newell. So lots of different, and then Plasma is what we have on Thutmose. Lots of different types of green energy. Now, what we're doing here is we're making sure we start Makotep within a 3 movement space of this laser cannon, so that after we get our summons off, Makotep can get both activated here, and that is going to allow us to. All we have to do now is worry about healing Aleph Newell, and we will be good to go. And it looks like Aleph Newell already healed. We do now have the passive activated from Makotep. Means that starting your turn next to him gives you some healing. Ending your turn next to ending Aleph Newell's turn next to someone gives him them his heal. So a lot of passive healing between Makotep and Aleph Newell, both at the start and at the end of movement. And we've wrapped up all the uncommon counters. Doing all right so far, and moving on to the rare. I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't perfect this. This is one of the 4 levels that I just couldn't beat, and so we can take a look here. I'm going to do a bunch of attempts, and I just can't seem to get it. What I know to be true is I did go and see how Raisin finished this level. He's just got a way stronger Immospec than I do. And you need to be able to use Immospec's Overwatch or his active to clear a bunch of units here, and then immediately using this starting position. You get 4 movement from Thutmose, and he moves up 1, up and to the right another, up a 3rd, up a 4th, and gets in range of that laser cannon, and can get a hit off on it and kill it. So right here you'll see he can use his active, get 1 damage on it, and you go and finish it with Mach. And you get really, really close. This is the closest I get here, where it's just I just need to be able to kill all these guys, and there's just no way for me to do it with how weak my Immospec is. So maybe you guys didn't have Anafet, maybe you guys had to get your Immospec stronger for the Falcadia or the Indomitus Mirror, but I couldn't get a flea off there. If I'd gotten a flea, I would have had it. That said, and I overkilled. I had a 40% chance of a flea there. Makotep moves up to the left, and he gets boom overkill, and if that guy in the bottom right flees, I get my lightning victory. So I don't think I'm not capable of perfecting this level. What I didn't want to do was spend 19 attempts recording trying to get this level perfected, and not being able to do it, or just having it be super RNG heavy. So I'm gonna move on. Eventually, looking at some of these damages, and I'm not gonna have you suffer through all of it with me. But here we go. Looking at rare encounter number 2 instead, where we will go ahead and move on and leave that at 400 for now. Definitely something I could RNG my way into. We have, not sure what damage type that was. Oh, no enigmatic damage. So no Immospec being allowed for this level. So we'll go ahead and take, of course, Alf, Newell, and Makotep. Again, I'm not using Anofet. That way, most of the player base watching this will be able to do what I'm doing. Coincidentally, if you're watching through, not helpful to have Anofet on Rare Encounter 1. Didn't help me get perfect there at all. So you guys see that I move Alf Newell to the right, using him in a way from the bottom position that puts both his scarabs next to each other in the top. This is definitely something you want to get used to doing sometimes, is using positioning. So we need to start Alf Newell in the middle using the movement bonus to connect. That way Makotep can only move 3 tiles and connect with both scarabs that we make sure go there. If you had moved Alf Newell 1 spot further up, you won't be able to connect with both scarabs with Makotep, and that's not what you want here. So you want to get your scarabs moving, and you want to get them moving upfield. And we will see, we got 3 turns to make the lightning victory. Foxcasters are always really hard to get your lightning victory on because they won't move towards you on the first turn. It's super frustrating. So now we have Alf Newell way down here, and he can't get up to connect. That's an issue. So we're going to go ahead and run up the right side, but we barely missed the kill on the Voxcaster. We avoid all the damage from the artillery shells, but now we have 1 turn left, and we have to get 4 kills with 3 units. That's going to be a little bit tough. Obviously, getting the direct damage from the passive there and the kill there is one way to get it. And we go there. And from the high ground just isn't enough damage. So this is another example of where a stronger team than mine, someone with a slightly more developed, like a Silver One Makotep, probably would have gotten the victory there using that strategy. But I have to reevaluate and think, how can I get to these Voxcasters upfield faster, right? So now instead we're going to take out the guy in the bottom with Thutmose, and we're going to immediately move Scarabs up the field using Alf Newell Makotep. And suddenly this encounter goes from being something I barely missed a lightning victory on to just incredibly easy. Everything just falls down here, and you have all these Scarabs up top and plenty of turns left to get the kills here. You'll see, haven't used our active yet, and we pull the active from Thutmose. We get 3 kills. We have 2 units left, and we go ahead and we wrap everything up with a complete extra turn. Oh no, didn't get it that time either. Am I going crazy? Is it just RNG heavy? I go again, get the kill. I move Alf Newell to the top this time so that he can connect on the next turn. That's the difference. Really thought I was going to get it on the last run. You're as surprised as I am. Funny enough, I'm the guy who played this. So now suddenly we get a little bit luckier with our RNG. Our Scarabs duplicate, and all of a sudden it's a completely different map. We have a full turn left and only 0 enemies. I don't even have to use any of my heroes. Sometimes it's just RNG-bus, with those Scarabs. So a couple of attempts there. Realize that my Discord is popping up on the top of my screen, so I go take care of that real quick. Always forget to put on my do not disturb while I'm recording. And here we go with rare encounter number 3. Another no summons level. Hate the no summons levels, and this is no exception. No summons means that you have to probably have a pretty strong Makotep or Immospec, or maybe Anofet. I don't know. We're looking here, and we're going to do a couple of attempts on what's going to work here. What I have found to be most useful is going down there and using Thutmose to take out the laser cannons at the bottom. And then what you really need is you need Immospec to be able to take care of the two Vox casters in the top right. And if your Immospec's active is strong enough to do this, you can get max score no problem on this level. I definitely considered doing it and using some of the badges I gained from this quest to strengthen my Immospec and go and do what I need to do to be able to get max points, but it just doesn't seem worth it to me. I don't use them in any other game modes, and I have 4 levels that I'm not getting max scores on here, although a couple of them I think I can get there on before the end of the event. So instead, I end up doing a lot of attempts here where I'm not able to finish it. You'll watch me think through, but it's pretty straightforward. What needs to happen is Thutmose has to take out the bottom right, and Immospec has to take out the top right, or vice versa. And then you use Aleph Newell to do damage and heal, and you wrap. You get plenty of turns, but if you don't knock out those Vox casters up top and stop them from summoning, there's no way to get the lightning victory. That said, 3 stars or 3 medals is very easily obtainable on this level. And so we'll miss the lightning victory here, but we will get the 3 medals and a score of 400 out of 500 very, very easily. And you'll see I try switching some things around a few times. I try my Immospec just not strong enough to go up top. It doesn't even get 1 kill off with his level 8 active on a rare level where the active cap is, level 26. So level 8 is very far below where you need it to be. But I get my my Aleph Newell to take 1 out, and I do the clearing in the bottom, and we'll go ahead and start to wrap here. But the problem is that you've already gotten the 1 summon off, and now you've wasted a turn from Immospec killing the guy who already summoned another guy, and it ends up becoming hard to get ahead of the lightning victory. And there you have it. Again, just 1 unit barely alive. Now, again, with fleas, with crits, with all the different RNG things that happen in this game, yes, it's definitely possible that I could get a perfect score when you're missing lightning victory with 1 unit with no health left on the board. Is it possible for me to perfect this with level 8 actives and passives? Yeah, maybe. Again, it's not something I wanted to waste your guys' time with. So I do hope that the talk of the strategy helps you guys out there. However, I'm not going to take the time right now. Of course, we have 2 more days of the quest left. I do hope to get a perfect score before the end of it. But for now, I move on to Epic Encounter number 1. And we are looking at no energy damage, so no Anaphet look like. Yeah, I'm starting to learn what those look like. So this is a 4-drop, one of our first. And because most of us have the 3 that aren't Thutmose, we get to bring all of them here. And we have a very tough looking laser cannon map. Taking a look at what Thutmose's active does at this point, and trying to establish how much damage he's going to be able to do, how many hits it does, if he'll be able to take out 3 laser cannons at once. And then I make a huge mistake, and my Aleph Newell gets absolutely smoked. I won't bore you with me running through the rest of this and getting my 1 medal, but there's a real quick example of what not to do if you don't have a gold rank 1 Aleph Newell. And let's take another look at who can soak some damage And the answer, of course, is Thutmose. He can take damage moving into the trenches where any damage coming across the trench plane is reduced by 50%. He takes the 4 Overwatch shots because he's our max gold 1 character. He's given to us at cap. He has stats unlike any of our other units right now. And so then we go ahead and we move Aleph Newell into a way where he can get 2 scarabs off, and Makotep is positioned someplace where he can go land on that cannon and move those scarabs. And this is going to be the key to this encounter. And obviously, as always, RNG plays a heavy part. That you just saw, I got 2 replications off. So maybe you play this and your scarabs don't replicate there, and you need to do a couple more attempts in order to get the luck that you need to get the lightning victory or to get max points here. But find that I move and I do some healing with Aleph Newell. It was probably a mistake. I probably should have moved Aleph Newell up to heal. And this is why. If Aleph Newell was up and in range, I probably would have been able to get the kill that I needed using Aleph Newell's 5 hits, but I'm not. And the Scarab does the end of the work there for me before I have a chance to do anything. So this is another example that, you know, I'm sorry I didn't take the time to show me grinding this one out. I'm sick today. Some sort of eye infection. My eyelid's all puffy right here. That's why my video's coming out so late in the first place. And so I wanted to get this video out to you guys, and I didn't want to spend too much time just grinding out the levels. So it's an R400, and we'll move on to Epic Encounter number 2, which has another damage type requirement. Looks like no Gauze, meaning no Makotep. So we have to bring Immo and Thutmose and Aleph Newell again. And this will be, we'll use Thutmose this time much more cleverly to take the Overwatches. And staying out of Overwatch, we will use Aleph Newell right there, and we'll move Immospec into the trench. And cleverly, we actually don't attack with Immospec in melee range. That way, he get his Overwatch off after the enemy unit moves. And from there on out, it's just about making sure we're at max health. We have enough turns left that our Scarabs are going to do the work for us, and we get an easy max score, leaving us with just the legendary encounter. Now, this legendary encounter, I've been told you can get maximum points by simply dropping 3 units, Makotep, Aleph Newell, and Thutmose, and getting lucky with fleas, crits, and scarab replications, yada, yada, yada. I will go ahead and use 5, and I'm talking about, just to be clear, a level 26 Aleph Newell, and this maxed Thutmose seems to be all that's necessary to get a max score here. I believe it to be true, but I have yet to do it. I have the same issues that I've been having, but this is what I believe to be the correct open. You have to move Thutmose there so that Thutmose takes the Overwatch from both units. And then what I could probably do here is I could move Aleph Newell up 2 spots and summon, and then move Makotep up 1 spot and activate on both Scarabs. This could be a good, and then use the Thutmose active to clear up top. I could actually probably summon with Aleph Newell, then use the Thutmose active to clear the units up top in that what do you got here? In that row right here. And then activate Makotep and send the Scarabs up top towards the laser cannon in the top left of the map. That would probably be what I would suggest to anyone trying to get the lightning victory on this map. Instead, I'm going to stay out of range of the laser cannons with everyone but Thutmose. I'm just going for 3 medals here and showing some guarantees. You'll see that in order to get my 3 medals here, one of the problems I run into not doing the strategy I just said is I move Alf Newell up to take care of this laser cannon. Smart move, no doubt. However, the obvious issue is that I now cannot replicate and protect those scarabs. And there's just enough damage on the board right now that they won't be able to survive. And that causes me a lot of issues in trying to get my lightning victory. So we'll see. I'm doing some more of attrition here and continuing to try and stay out of range of this laser cannon, particularly with ammo spec. And then I lose my scarabs. All in all, it's not the most terrible run, but I am going to just fast forward here because I use my Anaphet and I get his summons off and I move, and then I get sloppy once I have only 3 enemies left. I let them get some kills off, and I end up getting 1 star. So I run the same strat again, and I want to show you what's successful for getting the 3 medals and working in the same direction. Considering trying to figure out how to get my scarabs with Alf Newell, I couldn't figure it out at the time, but I just saw it and told you guys. It would definitely be to use him before using the Thutmose active there. But we go ahead and we move Thutmose and take care of the laser cannon, and now the laser cannons are all dead, and now we're just staying out of range of the artillery shells, and we're going to lose our scarabs again. But I promise you that in order to get 3 medals, all you really have to do is run Thutmose around the map, killing off Vox casters and hiding everyone else essentially in a corner behind Alf Newell, probably, since everyone seems to have a pretty well developed Alf Newell since he's one of the best characters in the game. And that's about all you need to do. I will use Anaphet in this encounter, but I don't think he's necessary. I think you can just pull back there and let people focus on Thutmose, and then move Thutmose up and continue to take care of the Vox casters one by one. All you really need to do to beat this level is make sure that the Vox casters go down. So now you will see that we're going to wrap things up here with the units, this time not getting sloppy and not leaving myself open to a bunch of attacks with my weaker units. Do take 1 hit on Makotep there, and it is a pretty tight one, but we go ahead and knock these units down at the bottom, actually using Immospec to get a kill, which is damn near comical. And there's our 3 medal victory. So yeah, and that's 45 medals, everything you can get. So we will get a epic tome, an epic badge, a rare orb, and we'll be sitting at 7,100 out of 7,500. I really hope that helps you guys out. These are the strategies that worked for me. I'll show you here in a second what units I worked with, so that you guys can compare it to your own. But obviously, as units scale down, everything up to the rare encounter should be pretty easy. Epic encounter 2 is pretty easy. Thutmose can tank the epic and up encounters fairly well. Looking at my Necrons, getting pretty close to unlocking Thutmose here. But I'm looking at that $20 bundle because it get me my last little Necron. But my ammo spec, you can see here, lost it. Ammo spec, level 8 active, level 8 passive, not very good stats at all. Looks like my screen's cut off a little bit there. Sorry. But I have a level 32 active, I believe, on might be 34 on my Alf Newell, a level 13 passive, level 17 active on my Anafet, level 8 passive, and a level 13 active on my Makotep and a level 8 passive. So I'm pretty much all bare bones, completely the entire way through. And I managed to get my 7100 there, so hopefully that's something that you guys can get as well. Thank you guys so much for watching the guide. I appreciate it, and happy hunting out.